So, hello everybody. This is a bridge working group update meeting, weekly meeting that we are doing every week on Fridays at this time. We would like to discuss some of the things that were happening inside of the bridge team for the past week. Our agenda is the following. We would like to focus on the status and current goal. We would like to go over the updates from the team members. Today specifically, we would like to cover the roadmap because this is something that was finalized during this week, and it is stating what we are going to do within the next quarter, within this quarter, and and then plan some high-level things for the next week, and go straight into the discussions. So I was copying planned items from the first week. We were planning to work on the roadmap. We were planning to create a design for the NAP to bridge to near ERC20. We wanted to restart deployments and deploy the UI. So successfully, we managed to do only some of these parts. So we created the roadmap, we restarted the deployments, but unfortunately, we were not yet deployed the UI to this on top of these deployments. So this is something that should be done during the next weeks. And also, there were quite a lot of different bugs that we encountered during the last week and the previous weeks, and we were focusing quite a lot of our resources on this. Am I missing something from what was done? Actually, Marcella, Evgeny, is there anything that we need to add here?
Well, discussion about adding sec keys to the validators, which is mostly for the sake of the bridge.
Yeah, so taking part in the SAC keys protocol upgrade. Okay. Yeah, this is something that we need to discuss a little bit more in depth during the discussions. Okay, so let's go directly into the weekly update. So on my side, I was paying some attention to hiring. I was trying to find an additional member for our team. The good thing, and I'm not sure that I was actually that was something that was communicated to everybody. So it may be a surprise to you, but like let's do it. So we actually have a person that is going to join us in about a couple of weeks from now. A little bit more than that. So he's going to start somewhere in the middle of February, on 15th of February or something like that. So we will have a reinforcement there. But besides this person, I think that we need an additional person. So I was working on this. I was doing roadmap, lots of preparations here, and this task was the task also for the EVM project. So created 2 roadmaps together with Arto and Marcella. I was doing a little bit of project management and a little bit of partner calls. Lots of small tasks, not a lot to report. Is Alex Skidanov with us? We have only 6 of us. Is this correct? I might not see everybody.
Yes, I don't think we have Skidanov today.
Yeah. Okay. So Alex Skidanov currently he is focusing a lot on the chain itself. So I believe like he will not have major updates for the bridge for us. Marcella, you have been working a lot on the box. Can you update us on this?
Yes, sure. So finally, I discovered the bug. It was like I've been updating a lot our relying the interface for relayers because it was unstable. And so the CLI I'm using right now, like the repository, it's in a branch separate from master. It's beta. So there I have added a few things that simplify the process of deployment and increase stability. So as part of this process, it turns out I introduced a book which is related to the way JavaScript, like to the way right now we handle parameters, arguments. The parameters are passed in like not snake case, like with dash, I don't remember the name, but then are converted to camel case. And then there was one parameter that had an issue in the way it was defined in the inner side, so it was passed as undefined instead of its default value. So then we were creating contracts with garbage collection Ryzen to B0. So basically, all blocks submitted were immediately garbage collected, and hence we had this book. I already fixed and redeployed the bridge. It's right now running, only the Robson bridge, but I'm planning to do that on all the bridges today. So yeah, that's mainly what I was doing this week. Catching this was kind of tricky for me. This is like kind of my first experience with JavaScript, and I was not used to the way everything is handled. Even if our bridge code is kind of simple, this particular part, not simple, but it's easy to follow, this particular part about how CLI works, it's kind of chaotic, and I think we need to improve it, not only because this book happened, but in general, like the way it works is kind of crazy.
Yeah. Just to check, Kirill, do you have any experience working with JavaScript?
I do have. I didn't have like a huge experience writing JavaScript, but JavaScript is quite familiar for them. This is not a problem for me.
Mm-hmm. Okay, got it. So I think that like this is like a major issue or like a major thing for our CLI tools that we are using, that everything is written in JavaScript, and potentially there might be many problems actually. Maybe we can move
having
it.
typing and runtime checks would be ideal. I mean, if we don't have typing, at least having runtime checks would be ideal, because basically it is undefined, propagated until the contract, which is far from ideal, because if the error was hidden inside the relayer, it would be much easier to
We
catch.
can use TypeScript. Actually, I am writing bridge version 2 in TypeScript. So TypeScript can be added to JavaScript. It integrates very well. So actually, we can, even when modifying current code, we can add, like switch it to TypeScript and just gradually add typing. For example, we could start adding it at the point when we pass some arguments to contracts. Then we may add types to other places as well.
Yes, that's the ideal, I think.
Yeah, this is a good solution. I was surprised. I just looked now. It is indeed written in JavaScript. Near CLI is 95% JavaScript, not TypeScript.
That's correct. That's correct. Yeah.
Surprising. Okay, so definitely TypeScript going forward would be a good idea.
Yeah. So need to do this. The only thing is that like rewriting. Yeah, obviously it will help us to find some bugs at the moment, but need to. But the only thing that I need to remind you that this is not directly inside of our OKRs at the moment. So yeah, would like to.
Very because could swoop in a little bit.
Potentially, yeah, but I believe berry pickers were the ones who would use JavaScript for this stuff. So it was their team. Well, I believe Mike is a co-owner of the Near CLI, and Vlad Gricina. So he's from the wallets. Okay.
I don't think we have any plans to rewrite it in TypeScript anytime soon.
Yeah. So so maybe not for the Near CLI, but maybe this is something that we can do for Rainbow Bridge CLI.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm thinking here on Rainbow Bridge.
yeah, in the end, so this is actually like this is already the discussion. So I'm going to put it here. So anyway, we need to move. We need to change the way how the CLI is located in our repos, because most probably, so we were discussing this at some point in time, because the most things that are available now in the Rainbow CLI, this should persist to the connector CLI, which is a different thing. So an initiation of the ERC20 transfer is something that should be inside of the connector, not inside of the bridge. So maybe like rewriting at least something in TypeScript, or like enhancing the JavaScript with the TypeScript patterns and TypeScript approaches would be something useful when we are going to do this refactoring. Okay. So Marcelo, coming back to your updates, that's it. Is this correct?
So basically, that's what I've been done for this week. And right now, like I already deployed the token connector on Ropsten. I'm just checking that it's working, and after that, we'll just make sure that all other bridges are running. We still have unsolved bug that happened on Mainnet. I was thinking if it might be triggered by the same issue. I'm not sure regarding the overflow on the bridge contract, but it's unlikely, at least the reason to be the same exact issue, because that client was actually already running before using this tool. So.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, Alex, you have joined us. Hello.
Howdy.
Do you have anything to update here, or we were just saying that you most probably have no updates for us?
Well, I joined a little late. I don't know if you guys discussed the SEC discussion, but SEC discussion happened yesterday, and
not yet. We are going to discuss it later.
Yeah. Okay. So besides the SEC discussion, no updates on my end.
Okay. Okay, great. Eugen, what's on your side?
On my side, first the aforementioned SEC discussion, and also there was a security issue that was found in ETH on near client, and I collaborated with Evgeny Kuzikov on fixing it. And so now the fix is already pushed. And Marcelo, is it deployed?
Yes, it is deployed on Ropsten right now. When I deploy other bridges, I will deploy with current fix. But Ropsten has the fix already.
So yeah, the fix is already deployed, so this particular issue is done.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What's our approach for the mainnet bridge here, Marcel?
In what regard? We agree that
with this issue, we probably should redeploy it. No.
Yeah, that's what we're doing, because
okay.
We don't have. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you are going to do it today.
Yes.
Okay, great. Great. Kirill, what's on your side?
On my side, I will probably duplicate a lot of things that we have just discussed on the EVN working group update. But talking short, I have been still following this week on the onboarding guides, looking at videos, tutorials, exploring documentation. And also this week, I researched our possible solutions for the upgradability for this Solidity contracts on Rainbow Bridge. And I took a look at the OpenZeppelin implementation that we have discussed, and I have some approaches needed to be compared the next week, and I will implement some test cases for this. and choose wherever is more suitable in our case. And I'm also starting doing the tasks that we have discussed with you for the next week. I already started doing this today for Rainbow Bridge for 67. To walk through the whole Rainbow Bridge README documentation and trying to launch everything and check if everything is going okay as it's expected, and fix anything if something goes wrong or the documentation is insufficient.
Yeah, okay, got it. That's great. So just add in here some links. So from chat, so chat is not on the call. What I know for sure is that we have started the discussion about the way how we represent the tokens on the near side, the bridge tokens, because it might raise lots of misinterpretations for the users. And the main problem here is that the bridged ERC20 token should be different from the token that is naturally belongs to near. So if you have fungible tokens on near side, they are of two different types, and we need to distinguish in between the transfers of bridged ERC20 tokens back to Ethereum and natural near tokens to Ethereum. So we need to somehow show to people that this is something that should be different. So this discussion for like how you will depict it in text and how you will put it how you will put it in text and depict it in some kind of image, so for easiness of the user experience. So that discussion started. Besides that, I do not aware of anything that the chat was doing. So I can say this bridged token representation discussion. And by the way, with this regards, I have seen already in some of the competitors some not very good choices how they are doing this. So potentially this is a place where we can learn from our competitors. Okay, so on the roadmap. So I've put here a link to the roadmap, and this one was created together with Arto, and like the contents of this we were creating together with Marcella, but the image itself was created by Arto. And Arto, thank you for this. I'm going to go a little bit deeper into the roadmap that we have. So every one of you have been able to see the roadmap in bullet points. So this is like absolutely the same thing, but a representation as a diagram, as a flow chart. So you can see that there are some tracks like here. Governance track starts, and this is the governance track end when it ends. And there are some things inside of this track, like create and propose an upgradability plan, manage the discussions, and finalize it. The links in between these are the dependencies. So if, for example, UI is deployed to Mainnet, comes after the governance track finalized, that it means that there is a prerequisite for this thing. And this is the governance. So we need to finalize the governance before deploying UI to the mainnet. And so all of the links here are representing these dependencies. So I would like to go into this a little bit, so everyone are understanding what we are trying to achieve this quarter. But before this, I would like to make a step back and just explain what is the current status of the bridge. Yeah, so we have multiple deployments of the bridge. We have a testnet. We have 2 testnet deployments of the bridge, one with Ropsten, another with Rinkeby. They're in different statuses. As Marcelo was saying, the Ropsten bridge is now back online, and now and pretty soon the token connector is going to be redeployed, so anyone would be able to use it. Rinkeby bridge still needs to be fixed, but this is something that is also going to be pretty fast. And we also have the mainnet deployment. It is there. It is upgradable. We can upgrade it, and this is something that again Marcela was saying and was referring to. So the smart contracts itself are there. We can update it. We can manage it. And then the major thing that is lacking at the moment is the user interface. So people will be able to actually move tokens from one blockchain to another. And this is the major thing for us to achieve during this quarter. And that's why you can see, for example, here that in the middle of March is the milestone that UI is deployed to the mainnet, and there is anything after this actually. So this is like our target. We would like to have it there. We would like to our main objective for this quarter is make a bridge production ready, so or productionize the bridge. So this is what we are actually trying to do here, and that's why this part is here. The long track here is like this is a central thing as a backbone of our plan. So of what we are trying to do. This is a critical path. You can treat this as a critical path here. And I would be mentioning the timelines here because they are pretty tight. And please pay your attention to this. So we would like to start the beta testing track, and we would like to give the bridge for our beta testing community already by the end of the next week. This thing includes the step-by-step guide that I was mentioning during a couple of previous calls. So this thing needs to be handed over to the community, and community need to start testing. We have been testing the bridge for some period of time, and we're seeing some bugs there, and but especially what we want to test with this specific track is the smart contracts. We are pretty okay with the state of the smart contracts, but we still would like people to test, to hack on it, and so on. This track is a prerequisite for the DAVX track, where we would like to update the instructions and the documents for the people to be able to hack on the bridge. So this is like a very simple instructions for the beta testing community, while the information about the things that are how to deploy the connector and stuff like that. So this is going here, and both of these are prerequisite for the testnet deployment of the EOI. And as you can see, it is scheduled in the middle of February. So it is like a little bit more than 2 weeks from now. So these things are like pretty close. And once we have a UI deployed to the testnet, we can do the security track, which includes the bug bounty. So we would like to roll out the bug bounty program and start and like incentivize people hacking on top of this bridge, especially on top of the testnet. We do not expect lots of problems with the UI, and well, if there are some problems, these are easily updatable. But mainly we expect that during this program, that is going to start on the 1st of March, in 4 weeks from now, these people would be able to hack in depth with the smart contracts. By this moment, we need to have some robust results from the beta testing community, potentially multiple bugs that were fixed, and the bridge overall in the good condition. And then during a couple of weeks of March, we expect that white hats are going to hack on the bridge, and in case we don't have any major problems happening with it, we are going to deploy the UI to the mainnet, obviously with all of the updates of the smart contracts. And then this will be a moment when the bridge is deployed. So this is like the main backbone of our plan. In parallel with this, we are going to focus also on some additional stuff that you can see on in parallel tracks. The governance thing, I was already mentioning this. We need to make sure that everybody understands how the bridge is governed, how the governance of the bridge is going to be, and what's the plan for this. We would like to have our partners satisfied with us, and potentially. We would like to generate internal reports on this and see maybe what we would like to add into some additional developments or the next developments inside of the bridge. And also, we would like to be sure by the moment of launching of the bridge, like the big launch in the mainnet, we would like to be sure that we are able to maintain this. There are lots of stuff already done in this track, but still we need to document things. We need to create dashboards and educate people how to work with this. So this is our main track. It seems from first sight a little bit complicated, but in general it is straightforward, and this is actually our roadmap for this quarter. And just saying to everybody, we actually do not have. So we need to be pretty productive in order to hit this. So we need to work a lot in general. So yeah, as you can see, first results by the end of the next week. So I need to do stuff. Do you what questions do you have regarding the roadmap? I believe many people on the call have been able to see this represented as a list, but this is the first time when you see it as an image.
Eric, sorry, maybe I missed your summary before, but what is the current status of the bridge on mainnet?
The current status of the bridge on the mainnet is the following. It is deployed there. Smart contracts are on the near mainnet and Ethereum mainnet. And there are relayers that are sometimes running and sometimes not. At the moment, they are switched off, so the bridge is not syncing.
I see.
But
that's
all
why,
of the bridge tokens, that's why you are probably not seeing lots of transactions on the near mainnet. Yes. So the relayers are switched off, but the bridge tokens can be used. So for example, and that's one of our partners have bridged some of DAI tokens. They are using it on near side, with exception that they cannot withdraw it back to Ethereum.
I see.
Okay. Marcel, Evgeny, Kirill, any questions from your side? What do you think of the roadmap? Do you think it's something feasible?
I think so, but I have some question. Do we plan to redeploy the smart contract on the Ethereum side for the Rainbow Bridge? If it's already deployed, if we implement our contract with the upgradability options that we have discussed, we will most likely need to redeploy one, because the existing one, I believe, is not suitable for that, and this should be a little bit modified. Is this okay?
So the current deployment on the Ethereum has the upgradability, which literally means that we are able to move the tokens from one contract to the next deployed contract. Unfortunately, it is not using the proxy pattern, so there is no fixed address of the contract that our partners are going to use. But this is something that we can upgrade, in the next time, or maybe like that. So obviously, updating the contracts, redeploying them. That is something natural, and this is something that is available already.
Okay, great.
One additional thing that I would like to mention here is that you are not seeing a part of the you're seeing here only the committed OKRs for the bridge team. However, there is a mismatch in between this roadmap and the EVM team roadmap. And in order for EVM team to deliver EVM to the testnet, they need to have a portion, a piece of functionality that will enable transfers of ETH from Ethereum network to Near network. Because ETH is going to be used as a base token in the Near EVM runtime. So this is something that needs to be delivered. This is something that is depicted in the roadmap and OKRs of the EVM team. And this is something that we need to live with and support the EVM team, obviously. So Kirill is going to do quite a lot of work within this quarter, specifically in that direction, together with Evgeny Ukhanov, who's not on this call. So yeah, it is not here, but it doesn't mean that we are not going to do this. We need to do this because just need to do this. Okay. Any additional questions? Actually, same stands for the bridge version 2 and so on. So we do not have it as a committed OKRs, but we're still working on this. Okay, so this is the roadmap. Let's plan a bit the next week. So we do not. I know that we are doing an internal sync, not public sync, on Mondays on this, and let's go in detail on this sync. But for now, let's do like the high level planning for the next week right now. So on my side, I'm going to mostly focus on the step-by-step guide. Hopefully, I would be able to do it pretty soon, since the testnet deployments are already there and soon going to fully work. So now this is something that I would like to do. I need to step into, as you can see, in accordance with this roadmap, I need to start already preparation of the governance questions, because they are starting already in the middle of February, and it will take some time for the preparation of this upgradability plan. And so I'm going to put here upgradability discussion. And this is one thing. And another thing that is on my plate here is I have had something more to do. Okay, probably it is about the EVM. So I also need to work with the EVM guys on some discussions there. So this is my main plan for the next week. Marcela, what about you?
So given that I finished deploying all bridges today, next week I will make sure that we have proper monitoring. I mean, relevant dashboards on Grafana. I should finish the on-call book, update README with relevant address. That all should take like at most 1 day. We need to test the new upgradability to have like real test on between Ropsten and testnet, or real, like we have right now a synthetic test between Ganache and local node near, just making sure that these really work on real networks. And other than that, I need to finish triaging all issues on GitHub about Rainbow Bridge and Token Connector, because there are several of them. Probably enabling some tests that I think are disabled on CI, like CI right now has some issues that I should fix.
Okay, that sounds a lot already.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Evgeny Kapon.
So I'm planning mostly to work on version 2 bridge, but also possibly assisting with any issues that may arise with the current bridge if that happens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I actually have some additional things to propose to you to do, and this is like connected with the NAP 141 migration. So this is like I'm stepping a little bit into the discussion, but probably many of you know that there is a new token standard out there, and it is going to influence us because we need to support this fungible token standard. And it would be really good for us to have a new version of the bridge that is supporting this before the mainnet, the UI on the mainnet. Hopefully, and luckily, it is not a big problem for us to support this. If you will go to the Rainbow Token Connector Liberas, you will be able to see that we are using an NAP21 reference implementation from the nearlib. And you can see it here by seeing that bridge token factory is actually defined here as a trait. So this is the interface actually. And we are everywhere where our bridge token factory, so when we are like creating or like we are deploying new tokens on the near side, we are actually calling the reference implementation of this code. And we are just here stating that there should be a code that implements this. So yeah, and you see that we are just saying that bridge token is just able to mint and stuff like that. So sum and all, the update of this code of the Rainbow Token Connector from NAP21 to NAP141 will be it will not be very, very simple, but it will be pretty simple because we do not need to do the implementation of this of the token itself. We need just to use it. And obviously the changes are going to be around the trait itself and the way how we are treating these tokens and the way how we are working with these tokens. So for example, we won't be able so it really depends on the standard what we can do with it. So this part needs to be rewritten and like other type of functions need to be used. Now this is a very, very deep security question, I believe. So Evgeny, I would like to propose to you to go deep into the NAP 141 standard and to have your own opinion on it and check what is the most important, the reference implementation of this token. Because the reference implementation, I need to check. I need to check it, but it was provided by a person from the community, and Ilya already created a pull request to nearlib, and yeah, we need to decide whether we would like to use it or we would like to write our own. Obviously, it's better to use it and enhance it. So it is something that is most likely will be used by other people. So Evgeny, what do you think of this? Is this something that you potentially can look into?
I don't know if it's so. I think I may be looking at some time in the future. So probably when the new version of the bridge is going to be ready, it should include the new standard. With the current version, I think there is an immediate problem if we just replace the code of the bridge factory, bridge token factory to use the new version. What happens is that old tokens which are already deployed would keep running the old code to implement the old standard, and any newly deployed token would be implementing just the new standard. And I think this is not very good. We may probably need to create token contract that can use both standards at the same time, like implements both interfaces while sharing the state, so it's the same token actually.
Yeah, I believe there is some kind of.
And then we will need to upgrade all the, when we test it, like when we develop and test it, we will need to upgrade all the token that are already created, in addition to upgrading the token factory so that newly deployed token use the new implementation.
So the good news is that, well, on the testnet we can deploy whatever we want to do, and there is no big need in supporting the previous version of the fungible token. On the mainnet,
the testnet is a testing ground for the mainnet, so everything that we're going to do on the mainnet, we need to test on the testnet, not because we need it on the testnet, but because we need it tested for the mainnet.
That's correct, but we are not that we are not in that hard position at the moment on the mainnet. So we have only one partner who was bridging some tokens, and we can say to them that, hey, you just need to bridge these tokens back if you want to get it, or you can just lose these tokens, and that is pretty okay for them. Moreover, they were not using as far as I understand, they were wrapping the tokens, the NEP21 tokens, into something more complex in their contracts. So so they already understand that they need something more complex than that. And I think that we potentially can do this upgrade without the updating, without the upgrade. We can do actually the deployment. So just like that, we can just forget about everything that was transferred already. So yeah, need to have a little bit more discussion there. So yeah, but obviously this upgrade, the sooner we will do it, the better. So Evgeny, with regards to your plan, can you please repeat once again, because I was not recording this.
So as I said, I'm planning mostly to work on the new version that includes not just working on this chain update with SECP additions, but also other like work of implementing it. And as I said, if there are any issues discovered in the current version, like that security issue that Marcelo fixed, that I may be assisting other team members on these issues.
Okay. Okay. Kirill. So we already determined what you're going to focus on. Can you tell us?
Yes. So on the following week, I have a plan to provide some options on how exactly we are going to use the proxy pattern for the Rainbow Bridge on the Ethereum side. And after that, or perhaps in parallel, I'm doing the task for 67 for working up with the bridge, Rainbow Bridge documentation and fixing one if it's needed, so it will be easier for newcomers to to deep dive into that one quicker. And after that, I'm moving to the 462 issue. This one, I believe, is related to some cleanups and refactoring with regard to the mintable fungible token, with the old mintable fungible token. I believe that's exactly about NEP 21 that you have discussed. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. So this task is regarding the transfers from Near to Ethereum. So Near native tokens to Ethereum. For now, we have closed these transfers, though the code for the Rainbow Token Connector, as you can see here, if you will go to the Rainbow Token Connector, ERC, for example, I'm looking at the Ethereum side. So if you go to the contracts, then you can see, for example, here the contract which is Bridge Token Factory, and this thin is literally doing, including this near to ETH tokens. So this is creating. So these contracts, or some pieces of these contracts, are able to do the transfers from Near to Ethereum. And like when I'm saying transfers from Near to Ethereum, I mean the transfers of Near native tokens. Yeah. So this is now not that important, and we would like to remove these pieces of the code, and maybe and in future come back to this and work on this. But now we can remove this just to reduce the surface of attacks on these smart contracts. That's it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and one additional thing, Evgeny, that I just recalled, and this is really connected with the discussion on the SAP keys, and I think we can start from it. So in order so I created an issue 468. So this is the issue. I don't know why it's 468. Yeah. So this is the issue to finalize the message that is signed by the validators for the realistic bridge. And this is something that we need to provide to the chain team as soon as possible, because they need to plan their upgrade. So this is something that we need to work on. Yeah, and I propose it.
Chain upgrade will happen in 2 stages. So the first stage would only introduce the ability for the validators to register their keys, but because they won't register all their keys immediately, there would be some time period. So there will be a second upgrade when then it will actually begin signing this additional message. And I think the exact format of the message is only needed for the second upgrade, because after the first upgrade there will be the signatures will not be required. So I think they would just not be needed at that stage at all, and so there would be even no code, or there would be only the code to actually keep those keys and for the validators to generate them and for the chain to store them. But at that point, there would be nothing to be signed. So I think it's not that urgent, because I think chain team is having other issues like communicating with the validators and arranging the process of generating those keys for them. So
let's check. Bowen, what do you say? When do you need this task to be done?
Yeah, I mean, actually, I think what Evgeny said is a good point. Well,
Okay.
I was more thinking that we wanted to um, to know the exact form of message, so that it's mainly to make sure that there's nothing more that needs to be done on the chain side than what is currently planned, right? Because if you plan to sign some message that requires some additional work to get from the chain side, then we should probably also take that into consideration. But yeah, I think as Evgeny said, probably don't need to worry too much about it at this time, because in the first upgrade, even if we sign the message, it will not be checked. The signature will not be checked, so we might as well not sign anything.
Sure. And but like, yeah, I do understand that you need to be very cautious with regard to the protocol upgrade. But what is the moment when you are going to start the development of the code of the second upgrade? Is it going to be after the first one is deployed, or it can start before that?
Oh, it can start before that. I don't see. I mean, currently we just, if some new feature that we want to work on, but we don't plan to stabilize anytime soon, we just put it on nightly so we can do those in parallel, which I don't think is a problem. Yeah, but
okay. So just
yes.
And then just keep us informed on when do you need this. What is the deadline that you see for this? If it is not by the end of the next week, then probably we are going to focus on some other stuff.
Okay. Yeah, but well, I think it also depends on the bridge need, right? Like, for example, because the ultimate goal here is for this entire change that spans multiple repositories and multiple teams, it is for the bridge to work better, right? So it's
absolutely
ultimately it is on you to tell me when when this change is needed for the bridge, so that I can plan backward and see, like, how understand how long I need to take to upgrade this on the protocol level.
Okay, great. Then yeah, we are probably going to discuss this.
What I can say about this format, we already know, like, almost certainly what data we need in this message, with the set of validator sect keys and stakes for the next epoch, and block Merkle root for the most recent final block. So this will probably not change. What is not finalized yet is the exact format, like whether we'll put all those sect keys and stakes into a Merkle tree or in a flat list, and like which hash functions we are going to use. So these details, they're easy to change in the code. They don't need any more data. So I think we don't need these details early, because they would be actually only needed when the actual implementation work in the near core starts.
Well, it might not be the simplest thing. For example, if we are saying to validators that they need to do the Kesak signatures, then this means that we are like extending the Kesak hashing.
We already have Kichak in near core.
Okay.
It's actually available as a host function to smart contracts.
Oh yeah, okay. Okay, that's great. Well, let's take a deeper look into this maybe during our internal planning on Monday. But besides that, okay, no urgency at right now on this. So I'm going to remove this. Okay, another thing that I wanted to bring. So let me put here realistic. Are we going to actually name the new version of the bridge realistic or pessimistic? What's the guidelines?
It could be realistic. Pessimistic has negative connotation.
Yeah, let's stick with the realistic. Okay. So
But also, Alex, regarding what you said yesterday on the meeting, but isn't it true that if someone just want to like say like, okay, I transfer something from near to Ethereum, and then like I want, let's assume we have this realistic bridge implemented, and then they say I want to very quickly finalize this. Couldn't they just like relay a block to the Ethereum side and then like immediately finalize it?
Yes,
that's correct.
Alex actually eventually said it. Alex spent a lot of time going
Okay.
around, and then at the end, in passing, mentioned that you can snapshot the block. That's the entire point.
Okay.
Okay. Also
interesting. I believe Alex, at least during the meeting, he tricked me into thinking that even with realistic bridge, it would take us like an hour or more to finalize the.
I was saying if we are going to keep the same costs for the bridge, we are able to in this case we are able to provide half an hour time for withdrawals from near. That was the short calculation that I was doing during my speech there. But obviously you can finalize it as soon as the blocks are committed to the network. That's it. Since near has instant finality. So yeah, in general, I can say that withdrawals from near can be faster than deposits. So yeah. Okay. So yeah, one additional thing. Storage changes. This is another discussion that is happening on the governance forum. I was mentioning this on the EVM call. That potentially is important there, and I know that we are like running a little bit out of time right now. But what I would like to mention here is that I probably need to create an issue. Once again, if we are coming back to the token connector, and if we will go to the near side, and we will take a look at our bridge token factory, then you can see that there is some amount of constants that we are using, for example, that we are putting on the balance of the deployed tokens in order to cover the storage here. And now the question is, if we are changing the cost of the storage, and we are changing the way how it is, how the things are operated right now, then probably we need to update this stuff. We need to make it consistent with the current storage. So this is something additional that I wanted to mention. We probably need to work on this.
We have general problems of those hard-coded storage, like the storage cost, hard-coded gas amounts. Actually, we would at some point probably need to have better design patterns which don't rely on those hard-coded, whether it's in the contract itself or in some library. There's still a problem that these contracts happen, get into the compiled bytecode, and so when we change these in the runtime, they become outdated.
Yeah, and become automatically updated. Yeah, I understand this. Yeah, but at the moment we have what we have. That can be a piece of a technical debt for us. But I'm just thinking of a quick fix that we can do right now, because again, our focus this quarter is a little bit different.
So if storage price is reduced, we can update this constant. It's a quick update.
Yeah, that's correct. I'm just saying that, we are going to reduce 1 0 here, or 2 zeros, depending on the decision. We are going to reduce 1 0, 2 zeros here. Yeah, and and like literally that's it. But still, we should not forget about this stuff. And potentially, actually, we would be able to calculate the total amount of storage for the new version of the fungible token which has a limited storage. So we're not going to consume more than some certain amount. Yeah, but let's discuss this in details during our internal meeting. And for now, that's it. Thanks everyone for joining this call. Just wanted to check one short thing, whether we have any questions in YouTube. So no questions there. Thanks everybody, and see you next week. Goodbye.
Thank you. Have a nice weekend.